Okay, so first stage of the reassembly is complete. I thoroughly cleaned the main shaft, wiped it down with a lint-free cloth, used brake fluid to clean it all up, and I reinstalled this front section. Now the only tricky part of this, all this stuff goes on pretty easy, except for the inner race here, which supports this first gear. There's a needle bearing that runs over it, but this is a press-on fit that basically retains a synchro hub. It pushes up stout against it and then it won't move. It's a light press-on fit. So all I did was I used the press. I use this washer here because it fits just tight up against the shaft, and used it to press it on. I basically put in the press this way, so I pressed down here while supporting the back side of this washer on the press. Next, I installed the little ball in there with some grease, greased up the back of this washer. So now this front section of the assembly, the shaft, is basically ready to reinstall into this adapter plate, which I haven't started yet. So that'll be the next step. So the next thing I'm going to do is assemble this, put the bearing retainer plate back on. Then I'll put this into press, and I'll press this down that way into this top shaft hole right here. After you get that part on, you press on the counter shaft, which is right there in a baggie. I'll have to take this last gear off. And all this has to do with making clearance from all these gears so that it works together. If you look at the factory service manual, it'll explain the assembly sequence. But this goes on first, press into the adapter plate, counter shaft without this main counter shaft gear. Put that in, mesh them all together, and then you put this gear on and the input shaft on essentially the same time on the very outside of it here. They have to kind of mesh together as they go on. But that's step one. Step two coming up. I wouldn't recommend trying to do this without a press. I guess you can. I mean, you could probably take a pipe that'll fit on the outside of this washer and kind of smack it down, but the press makes it so much easier. So I think I'm going to stick with using the press and forget what I saw the Village guy do. I mean, his system works, no doubt, but he's probably done it a million times and is used to the feel of it. I prefer using the press in the factory service manual. More later.